All right, you guys. So I'm going to get started here. And as I mentioned on team meeting, I'm sure Kathleen mentioned it as well, but we wanted to take a closer look at some of the playbooks that came out during MegaCamp. And the really cool thing about a lot of these playbooks is they took specific KW agents and kind of talked through what they were doing well. And so we chose a few different topics that we thought were really relevant. And today it's all about how to dominate your farm in 3 years. So not sure if anyone has seen that specific playbook. They are all in KW Connect. So Connect is a tab that is part of your command account. And if you click on Connect and you search for any of these, they'll pull in. And so I'm going to really just pull up that playbook first and go through everything that it includes. And then I'm going to break it down a little bit. We can kind of have a little bit of a discussion too. So if anyone is, kind of doing this, and you have any feedback, feel free to chime in. And then towards the end of the training, I will go through how to send postcards through command as a direct mail piece. And yeah, so that's how the training will run today. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to pull up that playbook, and we'll get started here. Okay, 1 second. Okay, can everyone see this playbook here?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So this is a playbook from an agent in Charlotte, North Carolina, who farms his neighborhood at a very high level. And so you can see, okay, what exactly, how he does it. And he literally has, increased his business in the last few years. 2021, he was at 0% market share, $0 in GCI. Fast forward a year, he's got 10% market share, $227,000 in GCI. And then now he's got 50% market share, $480,000 in GCI. So how does he do it? And so it's got some just really basic ideas here. And I love how it's just very simplified. This is a 1-sheet playbook. And, it's not like you have to do a whole lot, but it's taking a few of these and doing them at a high level here. So the first one is snail mail. And we've talked about direct mail quite a bit. It's sending a postcard once a month, whether it's a just listed or just sold, or just a real estate specific postcard. And so you could take that and run with it. I mean, you could literally just have it be a just listed or just sold postcard. So you want to take an area to farm and you want to be consistent with it, whether it's your neighborhood or whether it's a neighborhood that you just want to be the market expert in. And maybe, okay, there's not a lot of saturation of other real estate agents in this neighborhood. I'm going to take this neighborhood and I'm going to become the neighborhood expert here. And so just listed or just sold postcards, those are always just, hey, I sold this home, or I brought the buyer. Here's what it's sold for. Let me know if you're interested in knowing what your home is worth or your home value. So really simple postcard that you can send out. You can also get more specific with what's going on in the real estate market. Even if you are not selling, on the buyer sell side for a listing, but just kind of being that market expert in that, if a home does sell in that neighborhood, you're providing that information. And you can say, okay, here are the homes that have sold in the last 3 months. And you've got, the square footage, the bedroom bathroom count, what it was listed, and what it was sold for. Just providing that information in a very clear and simplistic way, like a postcard. You're providing value to those people that live in that neighborhood. Because even if someone is not looking to buy or sell their home, they still want to know what their market value is on their home. And, think about it in a way that, even if they're not looking to buy or sell, they might know somebody. And so if they're seeing your postcards once a month in the mail, even if they're just glancing at it really quickly and throwing it away, you're going to start to develop that brand recognition in that neighborhood amongst those people. So again, anytime you're talking about direct mail, you want to stay consistent. You want to stay consistent with how often you're sending it out, and you want to stay consistent with the way that that postcard looks. So you want to utilize the same headshot, the same branding, the same kind of colors and look and feel. So keep that message very similar, very consistent. And then you've got boots on the ground. So basically, anytime a home comes on the market in that neighborhood, whether it's you want to attend that broker's open, you want to hold an open house for that listing, take your buyers on showings, get to know that home so that you can speak to it. So if you're walking down the road and you're coming across other neighbors, or you're door knocking for that open house and that neighbor has a question regarding that home, you have those answers to provide. And so it's also just another way to showcase, okay, you know what you're talking about, you know the area, you know that home, you're the expert. You've that also then social media. So this is such a simple way to kind of market yourself. Social media is 100% free. Yeah, does someone have a question? Okay. So the great thing about Facebook is that you can join a Facebook group. So if your neighborhood or the neighborhood that you're farming has a specific Facebook group, make sure to join it and be very active within that group. If a Facebook group does not exist for that neighborhood, go ahead and create one. That's a really great way to establish yourself as that neighborhood expert. And ways in which you can stay active is, talk about the things that are going on within that neighborhood. Maybe there's an HOA with that specific neighborhood. Stay really active within that association, whether attending meetings and providing updates on when those meetings take place and what was talked about. Community events, just what's going on in the area. Are there any new restaurants opening up? Maybe there's a new park being built, providing that information because the people that are part of the group want to know and they want to stay informed. So that's a really great way to stay active within that community. Vendor recommendations, when someone's asking, we always talk about, providing contractor information. And so I think a lot of people are always looking for, various different contractors and, maybe developing your own list of preferred contractors. It's a subtle way to say, hey, I'm the neighborhood realtor, but I'm not just a realtor. I don't just buy and sell. I can't just buy and sell homes. I work with amazing contractors and I can be a resource to you. So really great stuff there. Really simple just to go in and create a Facebook group and then invite people to it. Open houses. So kind of talked about this a little bit, but great way to, anytime a listing is, going live in your neighborhood, you want to hold that open house. Even if it's not a Keller Williams agent, reach out to that agent, ask if you can hold it open. If you're doing any sort of marketing, of course, just make sure to reference who the listing agent is and the broker. But we kind of dove into this a little bit a few months ago with that full-on open house playbook. And we talked about, before an open house, there's pre-post.
Froze up. Lindsay, you froze up.
She's frozen for a real long time.
Yes. She gone?
She's probably gonna log off and log back in. Here she comes. You're
Sorry,
back.
You're back.
I'm so sorry. All of a sudden I saw my green light flicker off, like my camera stopped, and I realized my Wi-Fi went out. So I apologize. I'm on a better Wi-Fi now. Okay.
Your face was stuck in a cute position at least.
Oh my God, thank God. That's so awkward.
That's the worst.
All right. Let me get back in here. All right. Okay, where did I leave off?
Open houses. You were just saying hold open houses, even if it's not a Keller Williams agent, and then ask for permission if you put anything on social media.
Great, thank you. All right, so then for social media, you can always do like a Facebook ad campaign, utilize the paid ads through command and advertise that open house. And you really, I think the minimum amount is around $15 to spend on that paid ad campaign. So that's always a really really great option to promote that open house. The great thing with that too is that you can target that specific geographical area for advertising that open house. Where is that listing located? Directly advertised to that neighborhood. So that's always a really great option. We've talked about that a little bit in our paid ads training and open house playbook training. So those are all trainings that you can kind of watch back and get a little bit more information on how to do that. So that's also a really great idea. Anytime you're holding that open house, just put $15 towards that paid ad campaign. You can advertise it on Facebook, Instagram, and then the Google Display Network too. So that's going to go across, different ads through Gmail, YouTube, other Google related websites. All right, join the club. So the other thing that this real estate agent did was there was a country club in that area. So he joined the club, the country club, and was constantly seen at that country club, whether it was working out, playing golf, dining, or just walking around and saying hello. And, even if there's not a country club in your neighborhood or near the neighborhood that you're farming, just be out there and socialize and outgoing and part of maybe some other groups that are really impactful and are really involved within that community. I know there's other different sort of like community groups that you can get involved with as part of your business, just to kind of participate. I know there's a community around Milwaukee that has a lot of like different food truck nights throughout the summer. And it's that kind of business association that puts that on. And so you can be part of that association and then volunteer at some of those events. And so kind of just keep that in mind and think of ways in which you can get your name and your business out there, but also contributing to that community and just getting your name out there. It also says, there are those ask me about real estate t-shirts that you can buy. And so that's always just a really good conversation starter. I know a lot of people will put things on their laptops, like ask me about real estate, like a sticker on their laptop. So if you're working in a coffee shop or somewhere, you have that advertised, or you have your name tag, or you have that t-shirt on. So just other kind of fun ways to start up that conversation. And just walking around your neighborhood, walking your dog, really simple ways to do that. And then throw parties. So, there might be HOA rules with, door-to-door solicitation. So it's saying too that he holds more of like a community or a neighborhood event, or like block party. So he hosts 4 events per year, with one or two of those being giveaways. The other 3 are plug and play, where the only things that change are the theme and the food. So he has a DJ, beer and wine, bounce house, water slide for the kids. So that the kids' activities are the key. If the kids are entertained, then the parents will stay and socialize. So that makes sense. My neighborhood just did a block party over the summer, and I've heard from other agents too that they'll hire like an ice cream truck or food truck and just come to the neighborhood. And you can kind of utilize those things to draw people together, and then again, get out there, socialize, and, hopefully talk real estate. And then we've got, Southwest does a huge pie event every year. This is a great opportunity as well for either you're dropping off those pies or you're inviting people to come pick up a pie. So great client event. And you can also invite your neighborhood to this. So another really great opportunity there. And help them be first. So if you do have a listing in the neighborhood, he gives current homeowners within the farm the chance to refer a buyer before it hits the MLS. So I love how it says everyone likes the chance to pick their new community member, their new neighbor. I'm not sure if there's any compliance issues with this, and guys, feel free to correct me, but North Carolina might be a little bit different here, but not sure. I'm sure once it's in delayed, you can market it too, but yeah, so just another way to kind of give people a sneak peek and provide more information. All right. So any thoughts on this? Does anyone do this at a high level? I know, Nicole, if you're still on here, I know you've been doing a postcard every single month. What has the feedback been so far for that? I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out for Pi Day. I sent out the beer garden invite. We had a beer garden kind of in our backyard of our neighborhood that I invited everyone to. And if they brought a canned good, I'd buy them a beer. And I had one neighbor come over and just said, thanks for the beer garden schedule, but never read the back. So didn't know about the event, and no one came. So next year, I think I'm just going to put something on the front.
Okay.
Apparently that's what people read. And then just like you said, my next postcard that just went out this week is Pie Day. I rented out the clubhouse to our condo association, and we'll see who comes to pick up a pie and watch the Packer game.
Mm-hmm.
But
Nice.
It's starting somewhere,
Yeah. And that's where a lot of these things too, it's like you might start small and you might get 1 or 2 people who mention something to you, or attend an event or show up. But it'll just build on top of that. So don't, get down if you are sending something and you're not seeing any return. It's going to take a little bit. Like it really does. But it's getting your name and your face out there is really the point of it. And you got to stay consistent.
I do admit that there's a lot of people in my neighborhood that wave to me more than I've ever gotten waves before. So just being out and about and watering my flowers, I think people are recognizing me for my postcards. At least that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. A chance to kind of have more of those conversations. And I know we did a really good training a few months ago too, with Kristen Schlingman, and she was talking about her pop buys, and she does like 4 or 5 a year and kind of does it around certain holidays or back to school. And so she's gotten a lot of really great business out of that from her own neighborhood. And she's gotten, I think, 3 or 4 listings in the past couple of years just from those pop buys. And I know you can just buy those like clear plastic bags that hang on the door, put in some fun things. Like I know she did like a scratch off around St. Patrick's Day. and did like a cute little like card with her business card, like I hope like get lucky or whatever, something like that. And so there's some really fun ideas there. And the thing that I loved about that too was like she didn't even door knock. She just walked over, hung it on the door, and she walked away. Like, so she didn't even need to like, you know, have to stop and have conversations right then and there, but people appreciated the thought. And when she was taking a walk around the neighborhood, they would stop her and say thank you for the cute little like gift or the note. And like I said, she got like 4 listings just from doing that the past couple of years. So just another idea of how you can farm your neighborhood. So if anyone else has any comments, you know, feel free to chime in, but I wanted to kind of go through how to send the postcards through command. It's very, very simple to do this through command because you can both target your database. So if you have contacts in your database where you have that mailing address included, or you can actually farm and draw an area on a map. So you don't necessarily need to have all of your neighbors' addresses. You can just grab them through the system in command. And so I'm going to utilize the trick or treat schedule that just came out yesterday. So it's something where if you guys are like, I have no idea what to send out, you know, I always usually recommend if you're just starting to farm a neighborhood, send some sort of like introduction. And something that includes a little bit more about yourself, like, hey, I'm your neighborhood expert. I live down the street. Love to be a resource for you, and kind of give them a little prelude into like, okay, I'm going to be sending you some fun information about our community every single month. I hope you find it valuable. Would love to hear your feedback on what you'd like to see next. So send that introduction, and then you can utilize some of our 12 direct postcards. I create these, pull in a lot of different neighborhoods so that, you know, in my opinion, I'll travel for a really good pumpkin farm. I'll go to Racine for a pumpkin farm. I'll go to Lake Country for a really great pumpkin farm because I'll make a day of it with my family. I like to see different trick or treat schedules. If I'm meeting a friend who lives in Oconomowoc, maybe I'm going to go there for trick or treat this year. So the goal is for these postcards to really, you know, all encompass your entire database so that you can send it to everybody. All right, so I'm going to get into command here, and I'm going to walk through that. Who here has sent out direct mail through command?
I have.
Okay, awesome.
It's actually pretty easy to do.
Yeah, it is. So I'll show you guys where to find this. So direct mail is going to be under campaigns. So campaigns is also the section in command where you'll set up those paid ad campaigns or schedule any social media posts. So that's that little megaphone icon here in the middle. So that's going to take me to where I can create a new campaign. And you've got your dashboard here, and it'll give you like some like different ideas for like social media posts, tips and tricks, trainings, things like that. But anytime you're going to create something new, you're going to click on create campaign in the upper right corner. It's going to ask you what you want to create. And I'm going to do direct mail. You're going to name that campaign. So I'm going to just name it Trick or Treat 2023. My goal, it really doesn't matter, you guys, what you choose as your goal. Typically, I choose brand awareness. It's really just Keller Williams wants to know what agents are using this for. That's all that goal is. And then create campaign. So I don't know what that is, but so it's got a few different sections here. So I'm going to go through and basically make sure all of these are checked off in green. So my overview is all set. It's basically the name of my campaign. I'm going to click on content next. You'll notice I can choose either default templates provided or upload a custom template. For me, like 10 times out of 10, I'm going to always upload a custom template. These default templates, they're great for advertising a listing. Just know that you can't really customize them at all. It'll prompt you to upload like the listing, enter in some of the information, but you can't really customize that template. So I'm going to upload a custom template, and this is what you would do for any of those 12 direct campaigns. So any of that local content that we create, pumpkin patches, trick or treat schedule, buck schedule, all of those. So you're going to upload a custom template. For Command, they offer 3 different postcard sizes. So they do have to be specific. So if you are designing something in Canva, let's say, you have to stick to these sizes. So if you design something 4x6 and you upload it here, it will not take it because it needs that bleed. So if you're designing something in Canva, you need that 0.25 added in. That's that bleed for the postcard. So any of the 12 direct, I usually design 6x9. So they're a little bit bigger of a postcard, so a little bit easier to read, just because a lot of those have a lot of information on them. Take the brewer schedule. That's usually, that font is usually like a 7 or 8 point font, but it's a little bit bigger than on that 6.9 size postcard, so that it's easier for people to read and have up on their fridge when they're looking to reference that brewer schedule. All right, so then you're going to upload the front and the back separately. So I've already downloaded my front and back of that postcard to my desktop. So I'm going to click on Browse. And this should pull in my files. So I'm going to go to my desktop here, and I've got my trick or treat, my schedule. So it's going to give me a little preview once that loads in here. There we go. Perfect. All right, I'm going to browse again and find the back. Okay. And you can always preview. You've got a little drop down up here, front and back. Usually just takes a little bit. And there we go. If you are requesting this through our marketing concierge, don't you worry. This will be branded with all of your information. There we go. There's the front and the back. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to click on save, and you'll notice that is now checked off in green. The Market Center section, this is really just the return address. So if you send these out and you get any returned, they're going to send to whatever address you have listed here. Typically, the Market Center address is going to autofill in here based off of your marketing profile. So typically, I just put in Keller Williams Realty. Street address will do. Okay, so then verify that address and confirm. There we go. And then targeting. So this is where you can choose either local targeting or target my database. I'm going to show you target my database first. So you just check that off and click on add contacts. So it's going to show you all of your contacts. You can filter by tags at any point. But it's going to show you all of your contacts here. You'll notice that any contacts you do not have an address for, it'll kind of have a little icon here saying, please provide that. Otherwise, it will show the address if that is associated with that contact. So you could either select all, filter by a tag, and then select all, or manually go through that list of contacts to choose who you want to send this to.
Lindsay, can you add, I'm sorry, can you add the address right from there, or do you have to go back out to your, okay.
You cannot. You would have to like save this as a draft.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would just open up a new tab
Oh, sure.
and log into Command again, and then update it. without having to kind of backtrack. That's what I would do. Yeah, or just kind of make sure, run through your database first before you're sending out this postcard, and just make sure that all of those addresses are in there. All right, so the other option is to choose the local targeting. So this is where if you wanted to farm a neighborhood, let's just say it's your neighborhood. You could type in your address or just an address that's kind of centralized in that neighborhood. So I'm just going to use mine as an example here. And save. The budget. So if you are doing that local targeting, don't worry so much about budget right here. It defaults to 200, but you're really going to configure that on the next screen. But you'll also be able to see that postage here. So you'll see there's an option for standard and then for first class. So keep in mind, I'm doing a 6x9 size postcard. So it's that middle size. I believe for standard size 4x6, it's around 68 cents a piece. So first class, obviously that's going to be sent out a little bit quicker than standard mail. But first class mailers also, if you do get any returned, you see those. Whereas for standard mail, the post office just throws those out if they do not get delivered. So just keep that in mind. If you really care about receiving those, then I would do first class. All right, so just hit save there. And then next, configure targeting upper right corner. You're going to click on that. It's going to ask you, are you sure you want to create this campaign? Yes, of course I do. So this is where it's going to open up that map view. And I'm going to get a little more specific as to the area that I'm targeting. All right. So again, based on that address that I've already entered, here's my map. So you can see that, it defaulted to 200 addresses. I can either edit this down right here by typing in a different number. I also have these tools here, so I can zoom out a little bit. I can drag this over just to get a better view. But so this is my neighborhood, and I know that I want to target just this neighborhood. And so what I'm going to do is over here, I've got these tools, and I like to use the polygon tool. So I'm going to click on that. That's going to allow me just to kind of select my specific area. So I'm just going to click, click, click. And my neighborhood is like a perfect square. But that one little blue dot on the outside there, that's a farm. So I'm not going to include that farm, like an actual farm, with cows and stuff. So I'm just going to include that neighborhood here. So that allowed me to get a little bit more specific. And you can always you can click these little circles here. So if you wanted to extend this, maybe I wanted to extend to include this neighborhood too. All you'll have to do is click and move these little dots. So it's really easy to do. And you'll see every single blue dot represents a single family home. And the nice thing too is that you can see that specific address and you can see some information about it. So you'll see when it sold and how much it's sold for. So I know that my neighborhood is a little bit newer construction, so that's why a lot of these are sold for $65,000. Those were all lots. But then there's also a bunch of side-by-side condos, which are all represented by a little 2. So it says that's indicating that it's 2 units. So these are all side-by-side condos right here and up here. So you are able to target condos with this direct mail campaign.
And then it breaks it down into the individual addresses. We just can't
Mhm.
see that.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
This is fantastic for even just circle prospecting with a just sold postcard.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I mean, because those you're not going to know, you're going to be selling different homes across Wisconsin, across southeastern Wisconsin most of the time. And, you're not going to want to upload those mailing lists every single time. So this just
Right.
allows you to enter in that address and then say, okay, I want to target 100 homes around this address. Boom, that's it.
Yeah, and then I don't have to put them into my database and tag them and do the things.
Correct.
I love it. Thank
Exactly.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just another, I think I mentioned this with like anytime I'm training on direct mail. I have talked to several agents if they have, or if they know another real estate agent is in their neighborhood, and they don't want to send to them. You can actually click on one of these dots or hover over it and then click remove. So if you're like, okay, I know so-and-so lives here and I don't want to send this to them, you can remove that particular address. All right. So then you also have some more advanced filters. So if you wanted to filter by bedroom count, square footage, year built, year last sold, or price, you can do so as well. So if you wanted to just filter and say, okay, I want to filter by, last sold for, a certain price point, you can do that too. And you'll see that narrowed that down a little bit more. All right, and you also have the chance to change this back to standard or first class mail. It gives you the option to send a copy to the company address. So you'll just receive, if this is not your own neighborhood, of course, then you would get one to your home address. But if it's not your own neighborhood and you want a copy, click on the send copy to company address that will send to whatever address you have in that return address section. So whether it's the market center or your home address. When you are satisfied with this, you'll just click on next. This is going to give you a final preview. So this is going to be your best preview. And anytime you're sending direct mail, make sure that you're looking at this because you want to ensure that nothing's getting cut off, especially this area. So the bottom right corner is always left blank because that's where the return address goes, the postage, and the address. So make sure that, nothing's getting caught in this area where it's getting cut off. So to me, this looks perfect. You can always click view a larger preview. That's going to open up a PDF. And it's just going to open it up a little bit larger. Really, really easy to view everything and make sure all the details in this postcard are exactly what you want it to look like. No need to wait for that to load, but you get what I'm saying. I feel like Adobe's always so slow. Here we go. There it is. All right, so a couple other things here. Basically, all you're going to do is enter in your email, your credit card, and click on make a payment. You've got all the other details here in terms of the price, that breakdown here. I love that it says estimated delivery. So first class, it will say your mailers are estimated to arrive in mailboxes in 4 to 6 business days. So that will provide that information there for you. And then one more thing. So you do have the option to schedule the launch for a later date. So if you are doing a just sold postcard and you know that it doesn't close for another week, you can schedule this. So you can say, okay, my closing isn't until next week, Friday. So I'm going to schedule this to send on Friday, the 20th. So just keep in mind, you will still get charged right away. The postcard just won't send out until that date. And you'll
Lindsay,
know.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I keep talking over to you, sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
So, say for example, I wanted to target an area and do like a monthly postcard, but like our neighborhood is not great. And so, I just want to pick another neighborhood where we do another, a lot of business.
Yeah.
So when I go in monthly,
hmm
how can I always make sure that it's those exact same houses that get it? Like if I use the exact same filters, will I always get those exact same addresses?
Yeah, if you use the same filters, you would get the same addresses. However, there is a way. So basically, if I were to send this right now,
Okay,
there's a way in which if I go back to campaigns, you can duplicate the campaign. So
okay,
I could do basically, okay, so let me backtrack a little bit. So in campaigns, click on direct mail, that tab for direct mail.
mhm,
That will take you in here. So here's that draft, or let's just say I sent it already. And now it's
Okay.
November and I want to send something else to that same area. All I'm going to do is click on the three dots here and click on edit, or sorry, duplicate campaign. When I duplicate that, it's keeping all of the same details. But what I can do then is once that's duplicated, it'll say duplicate. I'll click the three dots for this one now, and I'll edit the campaign. And so obviously, I want to upload some different content, but a lot of the other things are going to stay exactly the same. It's really just removing this and uploading something else.
okay.
So if I click browse, let's see. I'm going to find a different postcard. Save that. Market Center. It always makes you verify the Market Center, by the way. And keep the same targeting, configure targeting. Yes. So here we go. It's saved my targeting.
Okay.
And
And
then
are those postcards that you guys made up? Are they, are they somewhere? I feel like I remember, but it's been a while.
yeah, so everything is okay. If you are looking for the back of those postcards to be customized for you, you'll just want to submit a really quick request for that. It's under our marketing concierge and 12 direct campaign.
Okay,
So you'll click on that. Oh, lovely. I'll have to make sure that link is working. But basically you're just going to fill out the information that we need. It's really just your contact information. And then we'll personalize the back of that postcard for you. And we'll send you an email and it'll include all of the information that you need and all of the postcards that you need. And then the other thing too, is even if you just wanted to download that PDF or, the image file and like post that on social media.
mhm,
We also have a Google Drive folder for all of those assets. So if you're in our agent hub, and that's where under tech and marketing resources, marketing assets right here, that's going to open up that Google folder. So
okay.
we have a bunch of holiday social media posts that you can pull in and download those images if you're looking for something. I'm also creating smart plans for each of those. The Halloween one I just did yesterday. So if you wanted to schedule a Halloween email, that's all ready to go. That's in smart plans. The monthly market MLS update I put together too, but 12 direct campaign. So I've got the PDF files and then I have the image files. Those are the PNG files for social media. So then you'll find them all in here. So you would just click to download. But like I said, for the postcards, if you want those customized, just fill out that request and then we'll put that together for you. And again, it's just going to our site and then marketing concierge. And then I will make sure this link is working.
Lindsay, you might have went over it, but where can we see the templates to know which one we want to use and get customized?
So typically I will customize all of the current ones. So like, I'm not going to send you like the brewer schedule, you know? But I will send you like, so right now we have trick or treat, pumpkin patches, buck schedule. It would really just be those three unless I'm forgetting something.
Okay, so every month we go into this 12 direct sign up and then be able to view these.
Yeah, you can do that, or you can always, like, if you've done it already and you're like, hey, I just need like the newest one, you can always just shoot me an email or our marketing email, a request.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way works. But yeah, I would say these three are the most relevant right now. Unless you still want to send out packer schedules, or some of these are kind of past, a lot of them were in September. I think apple orchards are kind of over now too, but yeah. And there's always more to come. So usually I'll do Christmas tree farms, holiday lights, maybe one or two more for the rest of the year.
Holiday
So
drinks.
I was just,
Holiday drinks. Don't forget holiday
oh
drinks.
yeah, that would be a good one.
What was it? Sorry.
Holiday drinks.
Holiday drinks.
Oh, okay. I will write that one down.
So Lindsay, how do we find your Halloween smart plan? Because I'm kind of going back and forth here because I
Yeah.
like to
So
figure things out. But
anything that I create, I make sure to title it with KW Milwaukee somewhere in the title so that it's searchable.
okay,
So if you're in the Smart Plan library,
yes.
and sorry, my computer, I think this Wi-Fi, I'm in the conference room in the TOSA office, and it's like got really bad Wi-Fi. Okay, so Smart Plan library, just search KW Milwaukee. So you'll see like anything I create, I make sure KW Milwaukee is in that title. Usually all of the newer ones are at the very bottom. So if you just scroll all the way down, you'll see
Okay.
Halloween 2023.
Now I see it. I couldn't find it when I just searched Halloween.
Oh
is
yeah,
weird.
so think about it as the Smart Plan library. Any Keller Williams associate can create a smart plan and share it to the library. So there are thousands of different smart plans in here.
Right.
Search KW Milwaukee and you will find
Okay.
everything in here. So
Okay.
Halloween, the September MLS update, trick or treat, Pie Day is in here, pumpkin patches. Yep, all of those, buck schedule. Yep, all of those are in there. And you're just going to click on add smart plan and then download. And then you'll be able to see, oops. You'll be able to see that exact email and what that looks like. Let me do that again. Download. Here we go. Happy Halloween under actions and then edit. And then you can always edit that subject line. Here's the email. If you click the three dots and you can either edit or preview the design. And that's going to populate with all of your information. And so I'll be doing that for pretty much every holiday. So there'll be a specific smart plan. All right, you guys. Any other questions? Comments?
I guess the only question I have, and it's not really a farming question, is that you kind of blew my mind with being able to do the just solds and circle prospect. So I don't know if you can answer the question now, or if we want to do it a different time as to where to find those templated postcards.
So if you need anything like that, our marketing concierge will put it together for you. A just listed sold postcard.
It was one of those choices on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just listing postcard. Yeah, fill out the information, provide us the image you want to use for the postcard, the listing image, and then we'll put it together.
Fantastic. You guys, Lindsay makes things so easy. I love her.
Absolutely agree.
Thank you. You guys are very sweet. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me. This was fun. Direct mail is honestly one of my favorites to train on in command. I just think it's such an easy tool to utilize. And it's fun to make some fun content too. So, all right. Well, thank you guys again. Yeah. And again, this is recorded. It'll be uploaded. Hopefully it's not too much of a weird transition when my Wi-Fi went out. All right, guys.
No
Thanks.
worries, Lindsay. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
Lindsay.
Bye.
You too. Bye now.